Easily write a console game with Python. This is what the game will look like. The player needs to find the secret word in 10 attempts with the help of visual feedback. We start with imports. With request we will get secret words from the random word API. You find the link in the captions. Special characters are tricky. We handle them with Unicode data. With the OS module we can clean the console. Next are globals. A color code dictionary will help us to check the player's guesses and provide visual feedback. Letters might be correct, misplaced or wrong. With the white on we start each game. We set a word length and a language. I chose German. Last global is the maximum number of attempts a player gets. The game's first function is to get a random word. Any API may have problems. So we do basic error handling and put our request in a try and accept statement. We set the API's URL. And our request will be sent with parameters. 2 of them are our previously set globals. The response will be a JSON object. German has a special letter. It would become double S in uppercase and would turn a 5 into a 6-letter word. We do not want that. Finally, the function returns the secret word. This is if the API works. If she is not in the mood we will get a request exception. We will tell the player to try again later. We have the secret. The player now has to guess. With a while loop we can keep asking until we get a proper answer. We normalize special characters so they count as 1 letter not 2. We check if the guess has the right amount of letters and letters only. If all is fine the guess will be returned or else specify the requirements. We have the secret. We have a guess. We need to compare them. Remember the color code dictionary. We use its keys as feedback. We loop through guess and secret comparing the letters at each index. If the letters are the same, we will change the feedback list item to G. The remainder item will become none. This we need to check for misplaced letters. We loop through guess and now compare with feedback and remainder. If a letter at a position was not a perfect fit it is still an X in the feedback list. If it's also in the remainder it is a misplaced letter. We set the letter's counterpart in feedback to Y and to none in the remainder. Lastly, this function will return a list of X's, Y's and G's. We show this feedback to the player using the colored emojis. The player wins if they guessed right. In this case the feedback is only G's. With set the word length doesn't matter. A set does not allow duplicates. So if the feedback list is turned into a set and all letters are correct the set will only contain a G. When the puzzle is solved our game should not just end. We want the player to keep playing. Again the while loop lets us keep asking until we get a proper answer. The function will return true or false. Lastly, and this one is optional, we may wanna wipe the screen clean to focus on the game. OS system does that, but depending on your operating system the argument is different. CLS is for Windows, Clear for Linux and Apple. These are all the functions the game needs. Let's wrap it up. This way the following code will be executed when you run this game from your terminal or console. First print the title and set up the game. We'll count the player's attempt human style starting at 1. Then get a secret word and print the first line. Finally we set the game's status to true. With this status we'll run the game in a while loop. We need something similar for each round. Every guess will be followed by feedback. We check if the puzzle is solved, give a pat on the shoulder and exit the round. Also exit if the maximum amount of attempts is reached. If neither is true we increase the attempt counter by 1. If the round is finished we ask the player to keep playing. If they agree we reset the game. Attempt counter goes back to 1. Get a new secret. Wipe the previous round off screen. Then print title and first row. Finally set round finished to false to re-enter the inner loop. If the player quits, so do we. By setting the game's status to false we exit the outer loops. Delete all evidence. This is it. You wrote your console game. Save it and run it from your terminal. Enjoy. One final warning. The random word API can't be merciless. Leave a comment with your weirdest secret words. Would you write different code? Let me know in the comments.